Welcome to the Free to Ride podcast with Brian Brumwell, Lance Crawford, and Connor Stobart, where average riders have extraordinary conversations. Gear up, subscribe, and join us where you will get exclusive insights, unmatched tech tips, epic race coverage, and plenty of laughs. Because in the world of motorsports, the only limit is your imagination. Don't let adventure start without you. Stay updated on your favorite platform and follow us on all socials. Your journey is just beginning, and we guarantee you'll keep coming back for more stories, wild discussions, and adrenaline-fueled excitement. Average riders, extraordinary conversations. Welcome to the Free to Ride podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Blah, 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 blah.
That's a great start. Can't talk.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Free to Ride podcast. I'm your host, Brian, with Connor and special guest, Bailey. Bailey, really quick, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm 26 years old from Central Washington. I spent the past 8-7 years in Allen Park. As a guide, mechanic sales, worked in the snowmobile industry since pretty much out of high school, and currently at All Sport, Polaris, Honda, in Liberty Lake.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming out from the park and joining us. We appreciate it. Right now, let's get a word from our sponsors.
Veteran owned and operated, the Bearded Viking Mead Crew is reinventing the ancient art of mead making with a modern twist. Their award-winning meads are handcrafted with high-quality ingredients, offering a rich variety of flavors that range from bold and fruity to smooth and traditional. Whether you're sipping their classic OG or enjoying creative blends like choke cherry vanilla or jalapeno raspberry, there's something for every palate. With a commitment to quality and flavor, the Bearded Viking Mead Company focuses on creating good times for a great meetup to bring family and friends together. So visit beardedviking.com today to explore their collection and get ready for your next meetup.
All right, let's move on to Goggles of Truth.
I'm in. I don't have my goggles though, because that's with my gear at my parents'. So you know,
Prime sunglasses.
There you go.
Pretty much goggles.
All right. Yeah. Nice goggles, Connor. Okay.
thank you.
So, Goggles of Truth. We're just, instead of doing the paper like we have been doing or anything like that, we're just going to do the just A, B, or C. Connor, you'll say what you think. Bailey, you say what you think. I'll let you guys know who's right, who's wrong, or whatnot. So, first one is, how many miles of snowmobiling trails are between Canada and the United States? Is it A, 230,000 miles, B, 25,000 miles, C, 15,000 miles, or D, 150,000 miles?
Is this like trails that cross the border or just
Groomed snowmobile trails
in general?
between
Canada?
the two countries.
Got to go the highest, 100 and what was that, 140 or?
There's 150 is D, C is 15,000, B is 25,000, and A is 230,000.
Yeah, I think I have to go with A.
A is correct. 230,000 groomed trails between the United States and Canada, with the U.S. with the most groomed trails. Wisconsin alone has 15,000 miles worth of trails, roughly.
Wow.
So crazy. All right, let's move to the next one.
Wow.
Now we're going to talk about... Yeah.
If we remember from when we were talking about the Iron Dog,
Yeah.
that full trail was from I'm mapping it out from my house in Idaho to New York was about the same length of the Iron Dog, and 15,000 miles in just one state is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right.
Wow.
We're talking money now. What country spends the most per year on snowmobiling? Canada or the United States? Who do you say, Connor?
Oh man, I'm just gonna go with the red, white, and blue U.S.
All right. Bailey?
Even if I'm wrong, I'm right. USA, baby.
USA for the win. On average, the United States spend roughly $22 billion on snowmobiling, where Canada comes in at $6 billion. Say how big it goes home. But we'll kind of keep in line with how much we spend. Now we're talking about jobs.
Okay.
In the snowmobiling industry across both countries, how many snowmobiling jobs are there? A, 90,000, B, 70,000, C, 15,000, or D, 150,000. And this is before it closes.
I think I'm gonna
A,
go with
90,
A.
okay?
Is this like all industry? Just
Yeah.
anything? Go with B.
B was just 70. A for the win, Connor.
Hey, got it.
Yes.
1,000 jobs in the snowmobile industry. That's
Man,
impressive.
even those numbers are. Man, that seems like a lot of jobs for kind of a. It's not like the entire United States does snowmobiling. You wouldn't think there'd be that many
No,
jobs.
think of all the stuff surrounding it. I mean, anyway, thanks for joining us for Goggles of Truth. Bailey, you lost.
Did. And I'm the one that works in the snow.
I've taken the champion. I am I'm 2 for 1.
All right, well let's move on into Brian's fireside stories. Brian's fireside stories. Welcome. Lance can cut in anytime, so we'll do the welcome again. Welcome to Brian's fireside stories. Blah blah blah. Bailey's
You're
joining
doing
me.
so well.
I know, Connor, you're gonna stay up too, so we could chat and talk a little bit. Bailey, let's learn a little bit more about you. What got you into snowmobiling? Like, where'd you start? Everything else?
Yeah, so we grew up farming. So most farmers traditionally are snowmobilers because not much farming to do in the winter. So Dad was super into it growing up, and I remember he bought a 2008 Summit 800. And I remember that thing had pretty much a straight pipe, and I was a little kid when he bought that, and I remember just hearing that sled shaking the whole garage. It just got me hooked onto it, and just grew up riding with Dad in the blues the whole time until I graduated high school, and was like, I could work in this industry. And then started working at 509, and eventually wanted to go to the Rocky Mountains and actually see some real snow. And ended up my way at Island Park. Did a lot of cool things at Island Park, guiding. Take the Boondock Nation guys out for Out West Sled Fest multiple years, and just meet a lot of great people and ride as much as I could. Put on about 2,000 miles a winter the past 5 winters. So a lot of time, just love it. It's like a drug to me at this point.
Yeah, it is. That's how we met. Was when I lived up there in Island Park doing that stuff through Patrick. So,
Duncan.
Yeah, and Duncan. Oh my gosh, can't forget that guy, dude.
He's jet skiing now.
I know. I'm gonna have to have him on because of it. So our podcast, we surround everything, all the power sports. So I have to have him on. Yeah, he's big into that now.
Oh yeah, he's racing and all that.
I have to. I'll have to reach out to him. I wonder if he's changed his number or not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I tried to call him. He still has the socials though.
I'll have to reach out to his socials, man. But yeah, that was one time. Like I think the first time riding with you guys was when we went up to the meadows out backside of towards West Yellowstone.
So we never rode, you and I.
No, we haven't, have we? No, it's Duncan, it's Patrick,
Duncan, Pat,
and
Isaac, I think.
Yeah, it was Isaac. Yeah. Isaac, I'll have to have him on too. So we went up to the meadows that sit west of Two Top, or no, east of Two Top, little ways that not a lot of people go.
Yeah, went to playground.
Yep, and then then figured out a way down there. And we haven't rode, have we? What the freak, dude?
And you're moving.
I know, I'm moving. It's there's quite a few people that I've talked to that haven't ever rode with. That's nuts. I thought we have.
No.
I mean, I remember going to Patrick a few times at night too, and I guess you weren't with us either.
Oh, it was different. I didn't have a snowmobile, so I was just riding rentals. So it was a lot harder for me to just get out. And working up there, the schedules were so odd.
No, we did ride. We did, because I remember going to Patrick's cabin to Drift Fly Lodge. And weren't you staying in one of the cabins back there or something like that?
Cabin 1.
Yeah, cabin 1. Because I remember pulling up there and you're like, hey, where's Beacon, Probe, and Shovel? And I'm like...
Checks out.
Yeah. Dude, that was... Yeah, that's right. Because you were working at...
High Mountain.
High Mountain at the time. Yeah. So we did. And I think that day is when we went up to Two Top on that day. I remember it.
Okay.
I
remember that one, but I remember seeing you out there. But I was the one leading because I won't go into Two Top. I would go to Centennials.
Yeah, it was because it was with Patrick at the time. Our friend Patrick. Right now, let's talk a little bit about Patrick, man. I met him at up in Island Park. He just got out of the Army. He had the same kind of disability stuff going on, so we hit it off rather quick, and then. He was recently diagnosed with what? How many years ago was he diagnosed with ALS?
ALS, it's coming on 3 years now.
Yeah, 3 years. So I snowmobiled with him quite a bit, especially at night.
Yeah.
-30 below, and him and I were out there going through trees working our way up to Sawtell.
Checks out.
Yep. But now he's wheelchair bound, can hardly move and talk and anything else. So.
Oh, that's rough.
Tracks.
That's rough.
Just on a wheelchair.
Yeah. But that's how we kind of met. Was up there in Island Park.
Yeah, it was Duncan. Because I remember Duncan met you online. You guys went riding. And,
that's right.
You started coming over, and
yeah.
And you ended up working a little bit. And we hung out a little bit when you were up there.
Yep. Not the Ski-Doo dealer.
Yep. Ski-Doo.
There's some good times in there. That's for sure. Tell us a story. The first thing that comes to mind when you talk about snowmobiling in West Yellowstone. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Nothing?
I mean, so many things. It's hard, dude. I wrote a lot. I wrote down like personal ride or guiding or.
Let's say personal ride with a bunch of friends. What's the first
personal ride? Definitely Upper TP Basin.
Ooh, it was good there.
It was Jason Works, Patrick, and Tiffany McWilliams and I. And have you ever rode that area?
I have. TP. I love TP.
Nuts area.
Yeah.
And I remember we had this bluebird day. It was beautiful. But I remember we went all the way to the boundary line. We dumped down into the trees there. And I remember I got this video on my phone of Patrick. He was going downhill and he was so intimidated about going down, getting stuck in this hole. He just sat there for like 5 minutes trying to pump himself up. Then he finally gets it on edge, and then he gets out and then ends in the ditch. And it was dark by the time we got him out of there. And that was a good night, but that was gnarly.
Gnarly. So do you do any like drops? What kind of riding do you usually do?
I do technical tree riding.
Technical tree riding?
The steeper the slope tight to the trees, the better.
Yeah. Ooh, I got a couple good places up on there still. Oh, you probably been there.
Been a lot of areas.
Yeah, there's some places out there that that I looked at. I went there with a buddy Jake, and I'm sitting there like, dude, I can't even ride out. I was so tired and done by that day.
You on that 174 still?
Yeah, I was on that 174.
Yeah.
I was that thing. I mean, I could get it through the trees, but it was a lot of freaking work.
Yeah, dude. Heavy sleds, man.
Dude.
Heavy.
Especially in heavy, wet snow.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. Okay. Who out of everybody you've rode with, who's the most famous person you would say?
Probably, if you go by social media accounts, probably Maverick Walker.
Okay.
We went riding in 2 weekends ago up in Burke.
Yeah.
Followers count, probably him.
Yeah.
Probably next to that, Boondock Nation boys.
Yeah, those boys, Jack and them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are good. I'm not those guys at all, but
Yeah, they're a
right.
fun group.
Yeah.
Wild Midwestern boys.
Dude, that's our last guest we had was Riley Shooter, he's from Midwest, and he came out to the West and Island Park. But dude, that guy, he's doing the rim shot hill climb, but he's putting on like 500 miles a season out now. He moved out to Island Park. Have you ever? Okay. He's a good guy. But there's so much. Any movie stars or anything like that you've guided?
Not on snowmobile.
Yeah.
Did a few. I was working at the resort, Paws Up, but
Okay.
I'm not sure on how much I'm allowed to talk.
Yeah.
On some of that.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I get you.
But no snowmobile stuff with Rich and Famous. We didn't see a whole lot of those in West. You know, that's more so Jackson Hole territory.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody that I've seen go through West Yellowstone.
I mean, I've always heard Matthew McConaughey's a regular, but I'd never seen him. I remember, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, the Yellowstone crew was a Wild West, and everybody was freaking out. I didn't even recognize them.
Yeah. Kevin Costner rolled through town on a snowmobile. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be hilarious. What about you, Connor? Have you ever rode with anybody that's been famous or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. No, just local people. That's about it.
Yeah, I think for me,
But I also just got it's been 5, maybe 6 years since I was got into snowmobiling. So
yeah,
I'm still fresh.
still a newbie.
Still a newbie.
Yeah, you're in a good area.
Could have added this year for riding, but moving and everything else, I've barely touched my sled this year. So
Yeah. No, that's a good area.
Just
That's you guys.
sits in the trailer.
Yeah. For me, I don't know.
Hopefully next year though, be more settled in and get a start to the season, and next year's better.
Yeah, both you and Lance just moved up here, so in the area.
Yeah, we're both just kind of. Yep.
Bailey has no kids either. So. Ladies, he's single. So you're shaking your head at me like.
Pick up and guns with a girl. It's not possible.
You gotta find the right one.
Find a rich one.
Yeah, find a sugar mom. You know, if you're cool with OnlyFans, there's plenty of them around. Seems like. But no. I don't know. I would have to say probably I've been out with quite a few different people. But I would say like just the one that always made me kind of go, holy crap, was Tony Jenkins, and just strictly because of his age. I mean, he's not young, but he's not that old either. And then just seeing him fly off of some of the stuff on Two Top when we went up there one year was just crazy. I'm like, dude, how in the hell do you stop after you land? He's like, dude, you just dodge trees.
Yeah. Yeah, Tony's nuts. I never ran into him at all those years out there.
Yeah. He's a good rider.
Yeah, he is.
But then, that's pretty much it, I think, as far as those go. I've been in areas and ran into people riding and stuff like that I'm like, wait a minute, you're here?
Yeah.
But other than that, besides the snow shows going there, I haven't really seen anybody famous.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people, but, talk riding with them. It's, you got to kind of be, you can almost got to have, like, your initiation, right? You got to have somebody that can vouch for you, say that you can keep up, because it can get pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah, they go in a lot of cool places. It's pretty, but that's one place that I would like to see more of the bigger names branch out more. I mean, Dan Adams and all those guys are doing really well.
Yeah.
As far as getting new riders, but we got to figure something out to get more new riders, family riders. So it'd be nice to get some of these faces out there that more people would recognize.
Yeah. It's tough. It's such a niche thing. You got to have, you got to have a pickup. You got to be able to afford to get into it. And you got to live in an area where it's accessible, and most of the country doesn't have snow like, we do up here in the Pacific Northwest and Rockies.
Yeah. I will say that one of the funnest rides I've ever done, though, and I'll ask each one of you guys that next, one of the funnest rides I've ever had was with John Ferrian, Nina, and Kyle Franklin, Nina Clifton, and then Jeff Hamlin. They all were up at Island Park. Dude, we went the meadows below Two Top.
Oh,
yeah, you can't really
in Moose Meadow there.
Yeah, like you go up, and it sits like just right underneath Two Top Peak.
Yep. Those are some of my favorite trees out there.
And they're harder than heck to get into. We went in there, but the snow was deep, and it was just. I couldn't imagine if you ever see this, dude, it was a riot. And watching that old guy just on his sled, I call him old. He's not that old. But dude, he rode circles around us all. We're all sitting there eating snacks, and he'd just take one bite really quick and then just ride for like 20 minutes. Yeah. We're all sitting there gathering our breath, and he'd just keep going and going and going. It's like, how in the heck does that guy do it? But it was just deep. I mean, we're talking hood, handlebar deep, and just nonstop fun. But what's one of the funnest times you've ever done?
Loaded question.
It's all fun.
It's all fun. Exactly. Yeah, I would say like the most memorably fun trip was probably, it's probably the first ride of 2022, I think it was with Jason and Patrick. We went up to Cabin. I mean, this is early. This is like, I think this is December 18th. And nobody had been out there. And I remember there was like 5 foot of fresh, and it was just bottomless. And I remember it was a stuck fest, but it was just such a good time, Patrick, whenever Patrick was there, it was always fun. And
dude,
Jason was there.
Fun. Yeah.
And we just were in the powder all day. I mean, like you said, it was over the handlebars. I mean, in your face all day. But I remember the funny part was Patrick and Jason swapped sleds at one point. And Jason got Patrick's sled stuck on the hill, and Patrick comes by and tries to get close to him and runs over his tunnel with Jason's sled. We get it out of the snow, and his tunnel's like friggin' bent way up.
Is that what he bent his tunnel?
Yeah, yep, that was what he bent it.
Dang, dude.
That was so funny.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. And then, because I think it was like a week later, Patrick and I went out that night up to Sawtell, and he just like, dude, I'm going to total out the sled. He hadn't done anything with it, so he's like, I'm going to cut it, I'm going to total it, I'm going to cut it, going back and forth all the time. And I remember going up through the trees, dude, and he got stuck at one point, and he got like, oh, I don't even care, dude. He got off that thing, pinned it, wiggled it, and he wasn't even on it, and just watched that thing just take off by itself up through the trees.
That checks out.
Dude, I'm like, man, are you kidding me? But yeah, it was that guy, man, Patrick. A lot of good stories with him. A lot of good stories. Anything was fun. But what about you, Connor? What's something you remember? What's something you've had like you'd say, dude, that was probably one of the most epic days?
See, I wouldn't really say insane, like just utterly amazing just because it's Western Washington. When I was living there, we didn't really get it could be winter, but you got to tell Washington that, hey, it's winter time. By the way, you need the snow and not rain. But
Fair enough.
I say there's a couple. I have a couple. So when we first got into it, we went a bunch of us going up. I can't actually remember how many were actually there, but just going off trail, having fun, and all of a sudden we come up to a part of the trail where the trail just kind of vanished, and it was about, I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, a 10-foot drop, but we're also just got into it. We're all on old sleds, um, and everything.
Yes.
So we spent a good like hour or two digging out the trail to just make it a little more navigable. Don't know why it dropped off right there, but it literally just dropped. But that was fun. I mean, doing that kind of stuff, just going out and about. And then, of course, we always do, or we did do family trips to Last Resort. And just rode there again, just
Yeah.
local. We were just getting into it. So, hey, for us, it was cool. But seeing, now getting more and more into it, seeing more of the other areas that we need to get to, it's just like, wow, makes what we've done look like the bunny slope. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, going the Last Resort was always fun. Trying to think, there was a specific thing I was just thinking about, but then I started talking and forgot exactly what I was thinking. What was it? Besides Last Resort? Don't remember. Oh, I guess it was doing our night rides there. The friend group. We jumped on the sleds, went out underneath I would say Bluebird, but a starry night, just turning off the sleds or killing the lights and just riding with starlight was amazing. Just a couple nice open areas, can see the whole side of the mountain, and just rode
Yeah.
nice and peaceful. And then I'd say it's gonna be. Sorry if you can hear my kid; she's screaming at me. I don't know why. I will open that for you in a second. Um, it was just a shameless plug for somebody. Probably one of the better events that I've been to is the Bavarian Boondockers sled bash that they put on, like their snow show. Not
Yeah.
super big, but man, do they put on a great show. It is fun as hell. And of course, it's in Leavenworth, so
Yeah.
just probably been the best experience I've had so far going to any of the events, and with High Cascades and everything else. It's just the Boondockers. If you've never gone in Leavenworth, and I believe it's November, the first or second, third weekend in November. Amazing show. Great raffle prizes if you're into that. And just, man, is it a blast.
Yeah. That's one thing I do. Some of the snowmobile shows I haven't been. I went to them for like 3 in a row, and then to at least the Salt Lake one, and then the Idaho Snow Show. But the one up here I've been to quite a bit. Denver once, but I really do miss it a couple times. The World Snowmobile West Yellowstone. That was always amazing. I missed that. I wish that we still did it. It's unfortunate and how it all turned out.
Sounds like they're one upping it, Brett. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sad. I'm not going to be there for this event.
Oh yeah, with Octane and stuff like that. Yeah, I heard that.
Brett Turcock, Al Eustace, going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I really hope that could turn out to something more.
Me too.
But I know that we've talked about trying to get something going up here. I know there's been talk about a lot of things. Is just trying to find the right group of people to get it together and to pull it off. I know that you got the big grass bags and all that in the Midwest. That's always huge, pulls a lot of people. But the snowmobile still trumped that, I think.
Oh yeah.
If we could figure out how to get it, where to have it, and get it back, dude, that'd be awesome.
Be sweet. They'd never do it this part of the country.
No. It'd have to be Island Park, West Yellowstone area.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, even Wyoming wouldn't be too bad. But anyway, so I want to jump into a couple questions
I'd
for
make
you.
that drive for Wyoming or West Yellowstone. I would make that drive.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
fun.
hours.
Yeah.
So, so you mentioned that you work for All Sport Polaris and all that. So you work in the industry. Where do you see things? Do you see things kind of having a tendency to trend up, trend down from what you? Because I know you worked at a couple different places.
Yeah.
What have been your experiences on where the industry is headed? Do you think it's the right direction? Just curious about your take.
It's kind of hard because the sleds nowadays are just nuts. I mean, the fact that nowadays you could buy a turbo, short tunnel, lightweight sled with a warranty is unmatched as compared to what everything else has been. So I'd say the machines are progressing to where everybody wants to see them, but the price tag is tough.
Yeah.
So kind of something a lot of us are seeing is a lot of the same guys that have been snowmobiling for their whole lives are the only ones really buying the sleds. I'm not saying that there are any young guys not buying sleds, but you just don't see any guys my age or younger really going out and buying new snowmobiles and getting into the industry. And it's gotten so expensive where I feel like it's almost been a hindrance.
Yeah,
definitely. But it's hard to tell because as far as I know, for all the places I've worked, sales have always been on the up and up. So, I mean, they're making the money, they're selling the gear, but I just don't really see a whole big influx of people getting into the sport like we'd like to see,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see what this SP will do from Polaris, actually bringing an affordable mountain sled to the market. Hopefully that will kind of get a lot more people into it. But I don't know, it seems a little stagnant to me, especially with Arctic Cat going through whatever we're going through. I mean, you get two to pick from. They're both $20,000 for a base. It's tough for people. But I wouldn't say it's bad, but I would say it's pretty stagnant at the moment.
Right. No, definitely. We need to definitely bring a lot more people, especially families, because I feel if we can get more families to come out and do things, then it would be something that could grow.
Yeah.
And, because the kids would enjoy it. Oh, I remember snowmobiling when I was younger, just like I do.
Well, that's how you get into it, right? My dad got me into it, and it's just, that's how you got to get the drive for it,
Yeah.
Like I said, you can't afford it, especially if you're 15, 16, want to get into sports, so.
Yeah. Nope, it's something that definitely I think the industry needs to look at, needs to talk about. There could be a healthy competition between Polaris and Ski-Doo if they're going to be the only ones in town, where they could, say, hey, we're going to have a couple models that we're dropping that they're not top of the line. They don't have the best of everything on there. But, hey, this is a good beginner sled for families and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing with the SP. Ski-Doo just needs to drop one next. And,
right.
I mean,
it's definitely the price point, but I do want to say that it's just, because that's what we want to gear this podcast going, through it. We've talked about is just kind of keeping it beginner friendly so people can tune in. Maybe they're interested in it. They just found it, whatever. Don't be afraid to just, if you can't afford, the price tag of a brand new sled. I mean, and all of us talking, we all started on, of course, stuff that either we had as kids or just buying a snowmobile. It's like, don't be afraid to just go and get an old sled. They are fun as hell. And I mean, we were right. We had guys that had when we were getting into it, we had guys that had the brand new 20, whatever it was, whatever year. I don't even remember what year it was that we started doing it, but just whatever the brand new thing was. And others are, we're riding 90s era sleds, and it's, hey, we all go out and had the exact same amount of fun. Maybe a little less depending on how many times we had to dig ourselves out, but hey, you know what? It's part of it. But just don't be afraid to just go and just buy a cheap sled that, hey, as long as it runs, you're going to go out and have a good time. And just if you enjoy it so much that you're just like, wow, really had fun on this. What does the new stuff do? Guess what? They're lighter. You do a lot more, and just that's dive into it. But it's definitely I think part of it is people look at it, they see what other people have, they look it up, they see the price tag, and they're like, holy shit, that's expensive. Just go buy something and go out and ride. Trust me, there's never been a time on the mountain where anyone's just like, oh, you're riding you're riding that thing. It's You see the gambit of sleds up there from, I'm pretty sure I've seen stuff from the 70s still running up there and next to a guy on a brand new 2025,
If I could have.
trust us, no one cares what you're riding. Just go out and have fun.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's something that we definitely recommend to anybody and everybody, especially listening to this.
There's no power sport like it. Nothing
No.
even remotely close. I mean, it's ultimate freedom for mountains.
Yeah. Yep. You'll see stuff you'll never see anywhere else. How, whether it's during the summer or anything like that, there's nothing more than being on top of a mountain in the middle of winter when it's crystal clear and you can see forever.
Yeah. Looking at another mountain, I want to go over there. Then you go over there.
Yeah.
I want to go over to that mountain. And, can't do that on skis.
Yep. And then the best part is, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, is in the summertime, you can go up to the same spots where you're at, and a couple things will happen. You'll look back and you'll be like, how did I get here on the snowmobile? And then the other thing, you'll be like, you should not find, and it'll be very hard to find evidence that you were there. Because the only tracks you leave are on snow, which disappear.
I'll have to mark on it.
Yeah, you'll leave marks on trees here and there, but yeah. But anyway, we do need to wrap this session up because unfortunately my phone's going to end up dying on me. I just saw the battery bar for 10%. Get out there, look at things. I really appreciate you both, today getting on here, talking about it. Bailey, thanks for coming out to do this. Where can people find you, follow you, everything like that? I mean, that was a chance to plug all sport a little bit more. Socials.
Yeah, my Instagram going to be the big one. BAILEY _KUCH _. And then if anybody's in the area, all sport, Polaris Honda out of Liberty Lake there. We have everything you guys might need.
Yeah.
You to service everything.
And that's one thing with dealerships, too, is if you can't afford something that's there, don't be afraid to reach out to them anyway and talk to these guys because they might know somebody who's selling it just as a private person. And be like, hey, go to this person. They can hook you up. So anyway, well, thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Connor, you got anything? You got anything, Connor? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. You guys all.